the third lesson from CASHFLOW Quadrant. Hi, I'm Brian Pombo. Welcome back to Brian J. Pombo Live. It's an old copy of mine of Rich Dad's CASHFLOW Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. Classic, absolute classic. I have two other videos that I discussed the first two lessons that I learned from this book directly. This third lesson has to do with the reason why this book caught me. This book slammed me against the head and dragged me to the ground. And that third lesson that I got from this book is the reason why it was popular in the first place. It's the reason why when I was working at Barnes & Noble bookstore, they had a separate section all set up with Robert Kiyosaki stuff. And it wasn't because of all of the acclaim that he had built up until that point, because he was relatively new in general to most people. This is the year 2000, and this book was popular, got so much more popular, even though it was his second major book. His first major book was Rich Dad, Poor Dad. His second major one was CASHFLOW Quadrant. Even though it came second in line, it was extremely popular and got a lot of play out there. It was a New York Times bestseller, was a bestseller across the board. And the reason why is one major reason. There were a whole lot of things that led to Robert Kiyosaki's growth. Whole lot of things grew that allowed him. He got in early to the network marketing scene and was able to use networks that were already in place and was able to get his books out there and get promoted as a speaker and so forth. A lot of that built his early fame, big time. But the fact that his book was able to get to this one particular person, and the fact that she was able to read it and then promote it, made all the difference in the world. And who is that person? That person is Oprah Winfrey. Okay. Oprah Winfrey had Robert Kiyosaki on her program in early 2000, and that is what propelled him to superstardom at the time. Okay, what gave Oprah so much control over the American psyche? Well, she had that Oprah Book Club. She had the ability to promote people. She had them on her afternoon show. It was an afternoon show. It's a syndicated show. It was on across the world at that time. It was very popular with a very particular sector of the market of, housewives and people that were home at the time. And she just had a real huge amount of influence. Very similar today. You don't see a singular person that has quite so much influence. You see a couple larger ones. Joe Rogan. If you can get on the Joe Rogan podcast, that's a huge thing right now when I'm filming this in 2021. There's a handful of people like that if you're able to break through, that could be enormous for you. And everybody else, it has been brought down into even smaller sectors than what Oprah had. Okay. Very small niche sectors that each unto themselves are huge, very powerful places. But that influencer term that is discussed in the movie Fake Famous, which you really ought to see, it's on Netflix. Fake Famous, I have a review on my page, so go check that out. But that movie talks about the power of influencers, and I think it does. It doesn't go in deep enough into the history of influencers, and Oprah was a super influencer. I mean, she still is to an extent, but not quite where she was in the late 90s, early 2000s. Anybody that got on there could become an absolute monster, huge person in the public's eye just by being blessed by Oprah. And she had him on a full show there. And it made a huge difference. And it made all of his books from that point on, it got them to a larger audience. It got more attention than you would ever imagine. You could find interviews out there. You could see that interview if you go search for it over on YouTube. And I'm not gonna link directly to it because I don't know how many of those are actually even legal to be up. But you could see interviews with Robert and Kim, his wife Kim, years later, discussing the Oprah effect and the fact of how that propelled them into superstardom. Fabulous stuff. That power of influence is something, at the time it was like, well, yeah, but you have to be Oprah. You have to be Oprah Winfrey. You know, she started a TV show after she was already in movies like the Color Purple and stuff like that. I mean, it's such an unlikely life that you can't even imagine setting yourself up to be like that. But nowadays, you can have a huge amount of influence over a small group of people or over a growing group of people, but you could have more influence than we ever thought possible back then. And it's all because of the internet. It's all because we're discussing these things now. We're talking about it. We're actually taking it apart and dissecting it and seeing how it works and allowing people to put it together from scratch. You can do it. You got to dig in there and look at the right resources. A great place to start, if you're relatively new to this especially, is my book, 9 Ways to Amazon Proof Your Business. It's a great place to start because I reference other books, other writers, other speakers in this book that you can go and dig into any one of these areas. These are 9 specific ways that you can basically make yourself Amazon proof. I do it from a business perspective. I teach business owners and executives how to do it. But it doesn't matter what you're trying to promote. If you're looking to stand out, go check out my book. You get a free copy. Hey, I'm giving them away. Get a free copy at amazonproofbook.com. Go check that out. And I'll be back here tomorrow night. What we do on this channel is we talk about strategies, tactics, and principles that you can use every day in your business. We'll see you tomorrow. In the meantime, get out there and let the magic happen.